Hello everyone, I have been not very good at this whole making videos thing. I made a few videos last month and never got around to making the ones that I planned to do after that, which is unfortunate because I had big plans. Like I did do Booktubeathon, I just didn't get around to making the videos for it. The first weekend I had this whole TBR planned. I selected my books like 2 weeks beforehand. I have a massive pile of various hats and all sorts of things that I was so excited to film and just didn't get the chance to. So yeah, I feel like a bit of a failure on the making videos thing. So today my plan is to make lots more videos again in the hope that I will keep making more videos. This might be a repetitive theme. But I've been reading a lot this year. I don't know if I can't remember if I said in my previous videos how many books I've read, but I've read over 50 books now this year. A lot of them have been children's fiction, and I think my reviews for children's books are a lot easier to write, so I probably will be doing more videos on groups of 5 children's books, which I'll review. More of those probably over the next few months, but I'm also reading like lots of other kinds of books as well, really into historical fiction at the moment, which is quite cool, and fantasy. I've read a lot of great fantasy. I need to write the reviews before I can film them because my brain is not really working in the whole let's just spiel stuff, which might be why the video thing doesn't work. And this is completely rambling, I'm sorry. I'm currently in the middle of like 2 books though. I'm reading The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater because I really enjoyed The Raven Cycle, and The Raven Cycle was a bit weird for me. I read the whole series in like 2 weeks, and I need to make a whole video about it because it was one of those series where I had so many issues with it, but I loved it anyway. So I thought I want to read more of her stuff. I'm not interested in the, what are they called, those ones, because they're all like love and romance and just not my thing. But this is really cool so far, and I just love the world building. Halfway through, just over halfway through, and this is a library book that needs to be back in like 3 days time because I've had it for so long. So I need to finish that very soon. I've also been reading The Sealwoman's Gift, and this one's quite a slow read for me. I think it's actually a thicker book than it looks because it's got like really thin paper, and look at the floppiness. I love floppy books. This is about a group of people from Iceland who are kidnapped by pirate raiders and sold into slavery in Algiers in northern Africa in like 1627. And it's very well written, it's very engaging, but it's quite dense, I found, and quite slow paced. So I've not really read very far yet, but I've been reading it for a few weeks now. So this one's my slow burn read while I like rip through all these children's books I've been reading. So yeah, that's my lengthy currently reading. I wanted to also talk about the books that I want to read. I've got quite a lengthy summer because I work in a school. I'm currently working as an enabler 2 or 3 days a week with a family I know. But otherwise I have a lot of free time and I've been doing a lot of reading, and these are some of the adult books that I've been putting off the last few months because I've just been so absorbed in children's literature that I want to actually get to some of these books. So this is one that was recommended to me by a bookseller in Waterstones who I told I really liked The Raven Cycle and I was looking for something similar but better written, and she recommended this, which is The Wren Hunt by Mary Watson. And I don't really know much about this at all, except it's got weird Irish-ish, kind of like Scorpio Races, where it's kind of like, it's not really something the Irish do, but it's very steeped in their mythology and things like that. And there's magic, and I think there's ley lines and stuff like that, so I'm really excited for that one. There's Pantomime by Lamm, which is one that I've been wanting to read for quite a long time. I think I had this in a TBR last year when I was making videos a bit more regularly, and this is about an intersex, possibly non-binary person in a circus, and it sounds really cool and I really want to read it. But I don't know why I've been put off it. I think it's because it's a trilogy and I only have the first book, and I'm quite worried that I won't be able to find the others while I'm like desperately wanting to read them. So I maybe need to check out the library for the others before I read that one. I've also got Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell, which I've also talked about in a previous TBR, I think. And this one just sounds like a lot of fun and totally me. So I really want to read this one because it's all like, it's kind of Loch-Lamore-ish and Three Musketeers and just all that kind of silly bravado knights thing that I love. Yeah. The other book is not one that I would have picked up for myself, I don't think, but it's Circe by Madeline Miller. And I did classics A level. I really love classics, but I found that I don't like classics retellings because they're always a bit, I don't know, ham-fisted. I don't know. I haven't really got on with them. I think I read the first 3 chapters of the Song of Achilles and didn't like it at all. So I only picked this one up because it was £1 in WH Smith, and it's I don't know. They have these special giant paperback editions. I've also got one of The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock. The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock by Imogen, Hermes, Gowar, and this was £2, and this is also one of these giant paperbacks. So I bought these 2 together, and I was like, yeah, I'll read those. Except they are massive, so quite intimidating. But I've heard good things about both of them, so I'm kind of like, I need to just bully myself into reading big books. And actually, I've got enough kids' books that I can kind of read something else alongside it to feel like I'm moving, progressing, reading. Words. The book I've got to read this summer is Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail. I actually have my own copy of this one, but I lent it to my mum, and then a colleague at work said I really needed to read it, and she let me her copy. So this is my colleague's copy, and I meant to start this a few weeks ago, and almost there's like 3 or 4 people at work who've read this, and I know several other people who've read it, and everybody has good things to say, so I'm like, I just need to read it. But I haven't been in the mood for this kind of fiction for quite a while, so it might take some bullying of myself to get back into this kind of fiction again, because I'm very on a kind of children's and fantasy historical binge right now. If you've read this one and have a lot of good things to say about it, put them down below so I can be like, I really must read this. I've also got The Tiger's Daughter by Arsenault Rivera, I think. And this one I don't know much about at all, but this was another £1 buy in WH Smith with like giant paperback. But it's got very friendly text, so but I've heard really good things about this one. It's got LGBT romance, fantasy, and it's about 2 women, so I'm like, yeah, fantasy about women, that sounds great right now, because I've read a lot of fantasy recently about men. Oh, that sounded quite negative. The other ones that I've got, these 2 are ones that I've had for quite a while. This one I bought when I was at university, and it's Black Mamba Boy by Nadifa Mohammed, and I've also got her other book, which I think is a newer one, which is The Orchard of Lost Souls, and I think I had this one in a TBR not long ago as well. But this one I've had since it came out. Is this one signed? No, but I lived above a bookshop in Bath when I was at university where she came and did a signing, and I think I must have missed it because I bought this book in anticipation to meet her and have lots of questions and stuff, but I don't think I went because I didn't read the book in time, and I was so terrified of being spoiled, so I just didn't do it. So I really want to read this book and this one, and just, yeah, I love this kind of fiction, and I haven't read it in such a long time that I really want to. I think this one is based on a true story about the author's great-grandfather or grandfather. Oh, I can't remember. But yeah, I need to read. Oh, I love books like that. I've also got from the library The Killing Moon by N.K. Jemisin, and I loved the Broken Earth trilogy, so that's why I've got this one. I've heard her previous books aren't as good as the Broken Earth trilogy, but I just love her writing, so I really want to read it anyway and see how I get on with it. Shh, Alice. Oh, I've also got from the library, oh man, how do you say his name? Anna by Niccolo Ammaniti? Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. And this is translated from Italian, I think. Well, he's one of Italy's rising stars, but it doesn't say if it's translated, so I'm not sure on that one. I'll have to Google. but this is a post-apocalyptic kind of survival story, which I'm also well into at the moment. So there's that one. And the last one I want to read is it's actually a reread. I read this one at university, and it's the summer book by Tove, and I love her writing, and I haven't read her in so long, and I just need to. So yeah, that's my massive adult YA reading TBR for the next several months, I think, maybe. I don't know. These are the ones that I'm just like, must read. But every time I finish a book, I'm like, but which one? So if you have any of these that you have read and absolutely recommend that I must read immediately or as soon as possible, please let me know down below, so it makes my choosing a lot easier, because this is only half of my TBR. I've got another pile of books over here for another video, which is my children's books TBR. So I'm kind of drowning in TBR at the moment, which I don't normally have big TBRs, but I'm kind of loving it right now, which might change because I know a lot of other YouTubers kind of complain a lot about their TBR lists, but I'm kind of like, well, lots. It's just the decision making that's the hard thing. So Booktubeathon was great because I got to like flip coins and things like that, so I might steal that idea and just do that in general. But yeah, I'm rambling now, so let me know what you're reading now, and if you've read any of these books and what you think of them, and it's great to be back. Goodbye!